Hey everyone, welcome. Thanks so much for hanging out with us for today's explainer. We've got a deeply human and honestly incredibly relevant topic to dive into today: the sheer power of informal conversation. Specifically, we're going to focus on how we can bridge that vast, often totally silent gap between carrying heavy, unresolved stress and actually finding help. We'll be walking through some really fascinating research, along with a community-centered framework, to figure out how to make mental wellness way more approachable. And we're going to do it focusing on a simple but literal game changer of a principle: one conversation at a time. So settle in, because this is a real exploration of connection, community, and figuring out how to take that absolutely crucial first step.
To get us started, I want you to think about a bit of a mystery. It's kind of the missing link in how we normally talk about wellness. So, what actually happens before someone reaches out for a professional help? I mean, we hear a ton about clinical therapy and counseling, and don't get me wrong, those are absolutely vital. But the journey to getting well rarely starts on day one sitting in a clinician's office, right? This is especially true for capable men who are just trying to navigate everyday real-world pressures. We're talking stress, grief, uncertainty, or maybe just that quiet, heavy exhaustion. Before there's ever a diagnosis, before a formal appointment is ever booked, there is a lived experience. And figuring out what happens in that early unseen phase, that is the absolute key to unlocking better support systems for the people we care about. Okay, let's dive into this and look at some numbers that show us exactly why this gap is such a big deal. Back in 2022, the National Institute of Mental Health estimated that nearly 20% of US adult males were dealing with some form of mental illness. But when you look at the treatment rates for those guys, well, it's pretty staggering. Only 41.6% of those men actually received mental health treatment, compared to nearly 57% of females. So, to put that simply, the vast majority of men in that group who were experiencing real distress were totally flying under the radar when it came to formal care. There is this massive, measurable gap between going through a really tough time and actually engaging with a professional.
And look, the stakes of that gap, they are incredibly high. Just to ground us in the serious public health reality of this issue, we can look at 2023 data from the CDC. It reveals that the suicide rate among males was roughly 4 times higher than the rate among females. Men make up about half the population, but they account for nearly 80% of suicides. Now, I want to be super clear here. The conversational concepts we're exploring today aren't a clinical suicide prevention treatment, but the sobering statistic absolutely highlights the broader stakes of men's mental wellness. It shows us, in black and white, exactly why creating early pathways to support, connection, and honest conversation isn't just a nice idea. It is a literal life-saving necessity.
Which brings us to this really fascinating concept known as the space in between. This is the daily reality for so many people. It's that gray area between carrying something incredibly heavy on your shoulders and actually seeking out formal treatment. And what actually lives in that space? Well, research shows us it's usually filled with silence, uncertainty, a fear of stigma, or this deep-seated sense of self-reliance. Sometimes it's just literally not knowing what to call the problem or where to even begin. What interventions have taught us is that you can't just shame or guilt men into opening up. Instead, we have to really understand this space in between and actively build approachable environments where seeking support is totally normalized, giving them a safe, manageable first step. To actually do that, we need to totally broaden our definition of what getting help looks like. Let's compare formal and informal help seeking. Formal support is what you usually think of: your health professionals, clinical therapy, medical doctors. But informal help seeking, that's reaching out to family, friends, peers, a mentor, or maybe a faith leader. The research into men's distress tells us that getting help isn't just a one-and-done event. It's a fluid, ongoing process. A guy's pathway to wellness might weave back and forth between informal, late-night conversations with a trusted buddy or coach and formal, structured sessions with a medical professional. Both of these completely have a role to play. And that leads us to a truly powerful realization, which is captured just perfectly in this quote from our source material. Sometimes the first step toward help is simply having a place where it feels safe enough to say, "This is what I'm carrying." You see, informal conversation acts as this absolutely crucial bridge. A person doesn't have to be or even feel completely broken to just need a safe space to decompress. Having the room to finally put words to the pressure and realizing you aren't carrying the whole world alone, that can completely change the trajectory of someone's mental wellness journey. Now, what's really interesting about this is that relying on our social circles definitely comes with its own reality check. A really great qualitative study by Griffiths and colleagues looked at what happens when people seek help from family and friends. while the perceived benefits are massive, I'm talking emotional support, quick access, and simple companionship, there are absolutely real limitations. You might run into stigma, get some truly inappropriate advice, or just hit a wall because your friends lack professional expertise. So this creates a vital both-and framing for us today. Informal support from your faith community and family is incredibly valuable. It's often the very first door you have to open, but it doesn't and really shouldn't replace trained clinical therapy when professional care is actually what's needed. But hey, we absolutely cannot understate the value of those personal ties. Both the U.S. Surgeon General and the CDC have come out and highlighted that social connection is a literal health factor. It's not just a decorative part of a happy life, it actively contributes to your health and safety. Having stable, supportive relationships helps people cope with massive life challenges and builds up community resilience. When we're talking about men's mental wellness, isolation is public enemy number one. It makes every single pressure feel infinitely heavier. Healthy connection, on the flip side, gives you perspective, accountability, and a clear pathway to real resources. So recognizing all of this research, the massive gap in treatment, the silence and the space in between, and the sheer undeniable power of connection brings us to an organization that is tackling this stuff head-on, MMZINit, or the Mindful Momentz Initiative. Their entire core philosophy is baked right into their logo and tagline, one conversation at a time. They're a totally community-centered organization driven by the belief that real healing and personal growth usually don't start with filling out a medical intake form in a waiting room. They start when you finally slow down long enough to have a single, totally honest conversation with someone you trust. MMZINIT's direct, structured response to the mental health gap we've been talking about is a program they call the Reset Experience. The Reset Experience is designed specifically to be that highly approachable first step. Now, it is crucial to understand that it is not therapy and it isn't clinical treatment. Instead, think of it as a community mental wellness workshop. It provides a completely non-judgmental environment designed to be a deliberate pause, just a moment to step out of the everyday grind, to reflect, learn some really practical skills, strengthen your support network, and figure out how to actually move forward with real purpose. The engine that really drives this whole experience is what they call the conversation pathway. It's broken down into 4 super practical steps. First up, notice. This is about creating the actual space to recognize what's happening internally instead of just automatically carrying it alone on autopilot. Second, listen. This means making room for an honest conversation where no one is immediately jumping in to fix you, diagnose you, or judge you. Third is connect, figuring out who those trusted peers, mentors, or professionals are that can offer real support. And finally, act, taking that newfound awareness and turning it into one realistic, highly intentional action. It basically takes this huge, overwhelming idea of getting help and breaks it down into a single, manageable human interaction. Let's move to and see how this actually builds the structure of the workshop itself. The Reset Experience guides participants through a continuous 3-hour conversational journey broken into 4 distinct stages: reflect, equip, strengthen, and engage. Each stage answers one very simple guiding question, and each question just naturally opens the door to the next step. The whole thing is designed to flow naturally, driven by real conversation with real people, rather than sitting through some stiff, formal lecture. Let's look a little closer at those first 2 stages. The journey kicks off with reflect, which simply asks, where am I today? This is all about creating vital self-awareness. It gives participants the chance to actually name their current reality and the exact pressures they're carrying, way before they rush in to try and fix anything. Once they've established that baseline, they move right into equip, which asks, what tools do I need? This effectively shifts the focus from simply venting about the stress toward identifying practical, real-world responses to manage their daily communication and heavy pressure. From there, the workshop pivots to make sure we're building long-term resilience. The strengthen stage asks, what will keep me moving forward? This is where the focus turns to the nitty-gritty. Repeatable habits, daily routines, and setting healthy boundaries so that the reset actually sticks in the real world. And finally, the engage stage asks an absolutely vital question: who should I stay connected to? This step directly fights back against that danger of isolation we talked about earlier. It helps people identify the healthy folks in their life, community mentors, or even professional clinical resources to ensure they have an ongoing, rock-solid support system walking right there with them. So the crucial point here, really the whole heartbeat of this explainer, is wrapped up in this foundational principle from MMZINIT. One conversation does not have to solve everything. It can make the next step possible. That is so powerful, right? The goal isn't to miraculously fix years of pressure in a single afternoon. The goal is just to create a healthy beginning. By breaking down the stigma and actually using that space in between for honest dialogue, we can build a super reliable bridge toward healthier coping mechanisms, stronger social support, and ultimately appropriate professional care whenever it's needed. We have covered a lot of ground today, from the real systemic gaps in mental health treatment all the way to the incredible, scientifically backed power of social connection and community programs like the Reset Experience. The research makes it crystal clear we do not have to carry the weight of the world in total silence. So as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with one simple but hopefully provocative question to carry with you. Who will you talk to today? Because remember, closing the gap might just start with one single, honest conversation. Thank you so much for joining me, and please take care of yourselves.